Hello, welcome to Game On. Listen, never mind the Great Britain curling team. A couple of smooth operators on the ice today, or maybe just a couple of old guys who used to be asked to sweep the floors
on a slidey slope.
Listen, I'm Michael Gannon. This week on Game On, I'm joined by my old mentor, my inspiration, my regular European partner in crime. My first phone call, I think I picked up in a flashing taxi, Mr. Craig Swan. Swan, finally, we've got a crack at Game On together. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you. Looking forward to this. This should be fun. If past experiences with you are anything to go by.
Strap on your seatbelts.
Yes.
Listen, before we get started, a big shout out to our brilliant sponsors, NordVPN. The absolute best when it comes to protecting your private data like bank details, passwords, and online identity. See? Proper pro here. Listen, enough of that nonsense. Let's get on with it. A bit like those cuddlers. Unfortunately, we can't sweep up any mess from Celtic's European game at the week. So we'll start off there. Celtic, obviously, against Stuttgart. Didn't quite go to plan. They're going to Germany next week. It looks a bit of a long task, won't it? The question here is, can they salvage any pride from a tie against Stuttgart in Germany next week? Is there any of that left?
What do you class as salvaging pride when you've been hammered 4-1 at home?
Yeah.
The tie's over. What represents salvaging pride? Going to Stuttgart and winning? What is the likelihood of that on the evidence of what we saw on Thursday night?
I would say slim.
Park? Slimmer than us. which
that's not a high bar.
Tough. There's there's that. Listen, Celtic would have to win. No, there's no salvaging any pride here.
I think more the question would be, well, how does Martin approach it? Does he just stick out a team of kind of?
It's a dodgy one, Michael, because if you everybody recalls when Ange Postecoglou went to Norway the second leg against Bodo Glimt, and Bodo Glimt had won 3-1 at Celtic Park. In terms of the league, he refuted it, but we could all see
the team sheet.
We could see it with the team sheet. The danger for Martin,
but they won the league that year, and people forgot Bodo.
Exactly, but the danger is that if Martin, how do you class it as a weaker team?
Well,
I don't know.
That's a different question.
But
what is a weaker team?
If Celtic go away there and lose 5 or 6, and before anybody starts texting in and going crazy about that, it was 4 last night on away soil, so it could be 5 or 6. I think it's a dangerous one. He has to pick a team that keeps Celtic competitive, but. You're right what you say. No one's going to remember this tie if Celtic win the league.
But the fact that remember it. I think the Bodo one was slightly different because that tie, I think people back then thought that tie was salvageable at 2-goal deficit. I mean, it was in theory. I mean, obviously looking back now, seeing what Bodo had been doing over the period, think no, it wasn't right. At that time, I think people thought go there and get an early goal. There's every chance they can go and win that tie 2-0.
Yeah.
Turned out the team sheet. You right away you thought that's not going to happen. No. This one at 4-1 it is. Done and dusted, but also it might mean that Stuttgart, who are also in the Champions League places in Germany, they might rest players as well.
I think there's a chance of that.
Another question is, what is a weekend Celtic team right now?
Yeah,
I mean that was Celtic's apparently strongest starting 11 on Thursday night.
Yeah,
and they get walloped.
Yeah.
So what is? I mean, you say they bring in
no one has earned the right to be called part of the. No one has earned that right. No one's doing enough.
At the same token, I think you're someone getting beat 4 or 5-0. Forget that. I think Callum McGregor, Kieran Tierney, Julian Araujo, probably Austin Trusty or Liam Scales, one of the two of them, they've all got to come out. I would maybe play some guys like your Chancharas and Adamus and these kind of guys need game time, but take out some of your main characters.
That goes back to your point. If Chanchara and Adamu, that's the first choice strikers for them.
I know, but they've not had the same members in the clock.
Regulars
but Tierney, McGregor, Araujo's different. You don't want to lose him for the Rangers game. So I think he has to play.
I think he has to do something.
He has to make changes. You can't risk any of these guys for that. That's a big period.
Yes.
That's another aspect of the game. We'll get back to the actual match itself, but the protests from supporters right at the first minute, tennis balls get lobbed onto the pitch. It held up the game by 3 or 4 minutes. Martin Neil came out after the game, was quite critical supporters, which managers don't tend to do, but Martin's got a bit more gravitas than most.
Yeah.
What he said, he needed your head examined. Do you think that's any good to the team? He thought it didn't help the team. It lost the momentum. Was he right to have a go at them?
Martin Neil's been placed in a tricky situation here, hasn't he? Because he's been put in the middle of something that's not his doing. He wasn't anything to do with it. The majority of us would all say it's not great for the team. Martin Neil's right to say it's no help to the team. But the Celtic fans are at their wits' end, some of them, with what's been happening upstairs in the club. And they have constantly tried to make their point, and it's not getting through. So this is the actions that they think that they should take. Do I agree with it? No, I don't think you should be doing that in the middle of a game, whichever way you want to go about it during the game. And I can totally understand Martin O'Neill's point of view because it disrupts his players. We've seen it happening before. It happened at Dens Park, I think, under Ange Postecoglou. It's happened in other games, a couple of other games, I think.
Yeah.
So I can understand the manager having a pop right after the game, but this is a situation that's not of his making. And to be fair, I totally understand. Fans probably don't want. I genuinely believe they don't want to upset the apple cart of Martin O'Neill because they love Martin O'Neill.
Yeah.
But this goes way beyond Martin O'Neill. This
but
is something.
Is the point not being made by now? I mean, if the Celtic board don't realise the anger and amongst the support by now,
I think they
they're
do.
Never
now.
going to.
Yeah, I think they
so
do now.
Is it not a case now of maybe even
that should be in line in the sand moment? That last night
Yeah.
should be the line in the sand moment.
Could they not park it for a few weeks? I mean, this is an important spell for Celtic.
That's what I mean. It should be a line in the sand moment. And
yeah.
Sunday's game we had at Celtic Park, the place should be back to.
Martin can afford to say what he likes to support because he has got enough in the bank to do that.
Yeah.
I think Martin looked a bit weary after the game last night about the whole situation.
I'm surprised.
A wee bit snippy about it. I get the feeling that he is fighting fires enough with the squad. He doesn't need to be fighting fires off the field as well.
Yeah.
I think for his sake, it might have to go in the back burner.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the anger and the ire. I mean, the demands that the fans, the collective are making, are they going to get all the demands met? Probably not. They're going to have to compromise on both sides. But Celtic know they've made an absolute backside of this season. They know they have.
It was very interesting. You and I were at Rugby Park last Sunday, Michael, and the backing that the Celtic team got from the stand.
Yes.
Really dragged them through in that second half. Even when it got, the couple of the players referenced it, but the Celtic supporters were singing at 2-0 at the start of the second half when they could easily have gone home after the first half performance.
Yeah.
So it shows the power that if everybody, listen, they always talk about unity and all that kind of stuff. It does show the power is there.
It does.
Celtic need to get back to that starting with Sunday against Hibs.
I do get the frustration right now because if they're watching this, I mean, Celtic's not a good Celtic team and they've got big problems in the pipeline as well.
Well, listen, bore alert, but this time 12 months ago, Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Look where the team is now compared to that team.
Well, listen, and another aspect in terms of actually on the pitch, this time last year, probably one of the top performers, certainly that night in Munich, I thought Kasper Schmeichel was absolutely outstanding. I mean, he had one of the best performances I've seen from Goalkeeper, pulling off saves left, right and centre. I mean, devastating to lose that last minute goal. Another brilliant save, and it was a rebound, wasn't it? But 12 months on, different story with Kasper, isn't it?
The evidence.
The goals the other night.
The evidence is starting to stack up, I'm afraid.
Is it time?
I felt Voljami Sinisalo was unlucky to lose his place for the Scottish Cup final last year. When Kasper Schmeichel came back for the shoulder injury.
Never been the same since.
Kasper Schmeichel has never been the same since that day. That goal that was lost, that effectively Celtic then went on to lose the cup, wasn't just down to him, of course. But Aberdeen never looked like scoring that day. I don't even know if they'd a shot until that point. It was a cross that wasn't even getting in the net.
No, exactly.
Ever since then, all the aspects, the shot stopping, it's there now and again, but there's too many mistakes creeping in. Even with the ball at his feet now, that's not quite as composed as what it was last year. When he first came in, Joe Hart had the ability to spread panic around Celtic with the ball at his feet. Kasper Schmeichel, when he just calmed the whole play. Even that side of the game starting to wither a wee bit.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't like people who just automatically point the finger at age and go, he's too old now, he's done, he's past it, he's over the hill, I don't think that age is the massive factor. But you just have to look here on form. It's form.
I don't agree with that.
Enough to stay in the team?
I don't agree. I think it is age, unfortunately. I look at the goals he's conceding now from distance, he's struggling to get down to them. And that's not form. That's physical.
Yeah, he's no Grandpa Simpson.
No, but listen, it can happen quite quickly. He's 39 years old. Most, some goalkeepers can play on. We've seen guys playing on into the 40s, not stuff. But not most of them don't for a reason. It looks to me that he's struggling to get down. I know he's had problems with his shoulders.
But my point is, it should be form, not because of age.
Aye, but I think I don't think it's form with Kasper Schmeichel. I mean, I might be confident about with these things, but I think it looks to me like a guy who's struggling to get down to certain shots. I mean, seen two last night that a year ago he's batting away, no bother.
Yeah,
I think his shoulders are now a problem. you seen the goal at Kilmarnock at the weekend. He couldn't backpedal quick enough.
Yeah,
these aren't things. These aren't mistakes. He's not spilling things or dropping things or decision making. It's his body's not doing what he wants it to do.
Yeah,
and that's time. That's time and catching up with him. Unfortunately,
fair enough. Okay.
So I don't think it's form. I think it is. It's his. I think physically, it's starting to become a problem for him. He's been a tremendous sign for Celtic. I thought last year he was terrific.
Does he get left out on Sunday in the Hibs game? Do you play Sanacialo?
I think you have to. I mean, I don't think it's a big presence in the dressing room, and that's what Martin will be reluctant because of the presence and experience at this period of time. I don't know if Sanacialo's not as good a goalkeeper as Kasper Schmeichel on his day. Unfortunately, that day, and is it becoming a liability? I think so. I think we need to see what Sanacialo's got. Listen, he came in against Livingston. I thought it looked a bit jittery. Sanacialo.
Yeah, but when he came in last season, he played well.
He done well.
Places like Ibrox and things like that, and handled himself quite well. So
yeah, it's a big call. It's a big call, but we don't get paid for that call, so we'll leave Martin Neal to it. Right, listen. Speaking of title race, back into the title race last weekend was a big move from Rangers, obviously beating Hearts. Derek McInnes has been quite on the front foot with his response, rightly so. There's a wee line that he keeps trotting out now. I think it's quite amusing. He says that that Hearts have annoyed a lot of people in Scottish football by being up there and challenging. Is Derek right about that, or is it a wee tool to motivate his squad? What do you think?
I would imagine that's a pretty obvious answer.
Yeah,
it's a tool to motivate him. Of course it is. Them against us.
He's certainly annoyed Celtic Rangers fans.
Of course he has, but I mean,
keep beating them.
That's not what he's saying. Has annoyed the rest of Scottish football. And unless Derek's referring to the rest of Scottish football as just been Celtic Rangers, I would suggest that outside of the Hearts. Well, actually, I was going to say something and it's not actually true because I'm not sure Aberdeen fans have got a lot of love for Hearts. Hibs fans certainly don't. So
he actually
now come round to me thinking he actually
Celtic,
actually right.
Rangers,
yes,
Aberdeen,
yes.
Hibs,
and probably a couple of others for reasons we don't know about.
Yeah. So actually, people are annoyed by this.
Okay. Yes. All right.
I think he has annoyed. I think Hearts have annoyed people by upsetting the usual kind of the way of
but it's
of
great.
things.
It's absolutely brilliant.
But for a lot of us, I think it's fascinating. And I actually think beyond Scotland, it's definitely a lot of people loving it. I mean, it's funny. The game last weekend, which was a terrific game, the Rangers game was. I mean, by the way, the Celtic Kelly. And then Rangers Hearts, what a double header!
Yeah,
I mean,
brilliant.
Super Sunday, and I think a lot of people down south, because of the FA Cup weekend, and the FA Cup's lost a bit of shine, would have been flicking the channels and tuned in.
Yeah,
and you see it on social media, people going, "Blimey, Scottish football!"
Yeah,
see the scenes at Rugby Park.
Yeah,
then they see the scenes at Ibrox, the comebacks and the goals, and you think, what is going on up there? This is actually. I've seen Gary Lineker. This is actually box office.
Yeah.
So I think he has annoyed. Not him personally. I mean, Hearts have annoyed the kind of establishment in Scotland.
But here's a flip side to it, Michael. Sorry to butt in. Here's a flip side to it. See those fans at Celtic and Rangers and Hibs and Aberdeen? They should be grateful to Hearts because they're shining a light. Celtic's board has been getting away with it for a bit.
Yep.
With the recruitment, not been good enough. They've scrambled over the line because Rangers haven't been good enough to do anything against them.
Yeah.
Hearts shone a light on it.
Yeah.
Rangers, the start of the season, Hearts are running riot. Russell Martin's having a nightmare. They had to act quickly because of Hearts, not because of Celtic. Because Celtic were all over the place as well early in the season under Rodgers. Hibs fans should be looking at their own club going, well, if Hearts can do it, why aren't we getting involved in stuff like that? Aberdeen the same. So all of the supporters of all these clubs should be looking at Hearts and then looking at their own clubs and saying, righty-o.
Yeah.
And some action has already taken place, as we saw at Rangers with Russell Martin early in the season.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think it's been brilliant for the campaign. I hope that it's going to be the same way all the way through now to the end of the season.
I think it will be because I don't think Celtic Rangers are good enough to embark on the type of run that will take them out of Hearts' reach.
No. So So, but maybe they have annoyed some of the establishment, but bring it on, keep annoying them. Still in the game. Rangers wise, Yusuf Chermiti hat trick to go with his double against Celtic. He certainly, the big man's took a bit of stick, but he certainly brings it out for the big games, doesn't he?
Yeah. Which is a problem.
What do you make of him?
Well, it's a problem, isn't it? Because if you're, it's a problem because if you, as a Rangers striker, you can't afford to be good now and again. And it's great that doing it in big games.
He's the opposite of Cyril Dessers. They got all the goals in the other games and then fluffed them in the big games.
Yeah, but you have to be doing it. 4 days prior to the hat-trick against Hearts, Chermiti was being absolutely pounded by Rangers supporters for his performance at Motherwell.
Yeah.
When Rangers didn't win. You have to be doing it all the time. The talents of Yusuf Chermiti will be shown in his consistency. That's where he has to start finding it. The 2 goals at Celtic Park, the 3 goals against Hearts. He has to start doing that on a regular basis. And I know it's not going to be easy for him because Ryan Nadiri's come in. He might be in and out. Danny Rowe might switch it around. They might play as a pair. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. But he needs to be doing more on a consistent basis.
I think that is pretty evident. But yeah, there's definitely something about him.
But it does take players different times to settle. Yeah. That's the thing. We're very guilty in Scotland of expecting a guy to be sensational after a fortnight. And it's maybe taking the boy a bit of time to settle.
He's cost a bit of money.
Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it? If he cost £2 million and they'd been doing that, nobody would have been. It was the fee.
It was the fee is
the fee hung heavy on him, no doubt. Arne Engels is the same across the city as Celtic.
Yeah. He's only 21.
Yeah.
And you look at him, he's physically strong. He's got a bit of a kind of he's got a decent touch at times.
Yeah, I think he can. Yeah.
It is a bit of an enigma because he has got the tools.
Yeah.
I think there is going to be I do think there is going to be a player there. I mean, the question here is, are they going to get a profit on him? So they spent 8 to 10 million quid, depending on how he does. Are they going to get £10 million plus in this guy?
Well, they might.
I think
they might. Yeah,
I think they probably will. I mean, we had the kind
of profile. He will have to continue to do more.
Yeah, we had the kind of mysterious kind of Fenerbahce interest, didn't we, in January? It was saying 13 million quid, and then a bit of jiggery pokery in Turkey, saying yes and no. I mean, we know that the Turkish kind of media come a bit fun sometimes with these kind of things, as we've known through the years. People think we're a bit wild at here. But,
Turkish media guys. Right, I'm going to turn it to you, Michael.
Right,
I'm going to turn it to you. We've just talked about Celtic, Hearts, and Rangers extensively.
Right,
who's going to be top at the split?
Right.
Not that I'm putting you on the spot or anything.
No, do you know what? I think Hearts have got a good run to the split. So, and Rangers have got not a bad run. I think Hearts might be top. I think Rangers. I think Hearts have to be top at current split to win if they want to win the league. I also think Rangers have to be top to win. I think Celtic can afford not to be top because they've got Hearts and Rangers at home after the split. So I think it'll be. I think Rangers will be top
because that went well in this season. Hearts and Rangers at home for Celtic.
Well, that's true. I don't think Celtic. I don't think it's a cup to deal with it anyway. I think it's between Hearts and Rangers. I must admit, even though Celtic are game in hand, I don't see this Celtic team maintaining this. They've got a tougher run in the short term. I think Rangers will be top in a split. I think there'll be maybe a point in it with Hearts. Celtic maybe 3 behind. I think going in. So it'll be all to play for at that point. But I think Rangers have got a slightly quite a fairly gentleish run to the split, and Hearts. Celtic I think have still got. I mean, Hibs, Aberdeen in there. Rangers at Ibrox. We got Motherwell the last game before the split, Celtic I think as well.
No, it's way before that. It's
way before that.
March the 14th.
So they got Motherwell in there.
Yeah.
I think Celtic wheels are wobbly right now. I mean, they've come through a spell of very unconvincing performances, going right back to Martin Neal's first game since he came back against Dundee United. Since then, the performances have not been very good. They got away with it against the 3 of the bottom 5 teams with last-minute goals, thumped by Stuttgart. I think there's problems in the pipeline for this Celtic team. I think Rangers have got a head of steam. Beating at Hearts was a major step forward for them. I think they've got a good run towards the split. Celtic at Ibrox obviously is huge. I think they win that game. I think they do. I think Celtic are too flaky, and that'll give them the springboard. I think they've got 4 games at home maybe as well.
I think Hearts will be top.
So I think Rangers and Hearts right on their tail, and Celtic slightly behind.
Yeah, I think the other way about. Hearts just.
Yeah, we got a good run, haven't they?
Do you know who we haven't mentioned? And it's wrong we haven't mentioned them yet.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. I know.
Motherwell.
I know.
Now, I'm not going to talk about title stuff and all that because I think that's probably unlikely.
Yeah.
However, the manager, Jens Bertalasco, incredible what he's done with that.
Made a pig's ear of it the other night in the cup.
What he's done with that football club.
Made a mess of it in the cup the other night.
Getting to that. I mean, doesn't like giving. He doesn't like giving away his hosting
But
games,
again,
does he?
There's a clock here. We were up against the clock.
Yes. Where does he go next? Because he's not going to be staying at Motherwell.
You think Celtic? He was at the game. He was at the game on Thursday night again.
You tell me.
I think he's too.
Does he go beyond Scottish football?
I think he is. I think he is not quite got the experience yet for Celtic. I know there's a bit of clamour for Celtic, and it's obviously people are saying right under their nose the next Celtic manager sitting there, and he's had a great season.
True. They did appoint Wilfried Nancy.
I think he's having a great season, and he's got a decent coaching pedigree, but he's not managed a club that has to win titles like that, compete in Europe like the Celtic do, the pressure, the scrutiny. I think it's these are questions that you don't get answered at Motherwell. I think he has done a brilliant job there. He's got them playing. I think they're the best team to watch in Scotland.
Does Wednesday night just typify what you're saying, Michael? That Motherwell have been doing so well, they have a cup howler, and it almost gets. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
If that happened at Celtic,
if it makes certain changes for a cup tie at Celtic, they put the cup, they'd be held to pay.
Yeah.
Likewise, the cup semi, just so unfortunate for Motherwell that the two worst performances of the season both came in cup competitions. And I know the other night red cards have changed the game, but there was changes to the team as well. And I thought, not sure about that. So listen. Motherwell are. In terms of budgets going to Aberdeen, Aberdeen have spent a fortune.
Yeah, exactly.
So listen, you can't hold that against them too much. But at this point, I think Motherwell getting a cup final would be a good reward this season.
I think.
But I just think that another campaign at Motherwell maybe would be good for him.
Be good for Motherwell.
Be good for Motherwell. Exactly. I just want to see. I want to see him build something and build a body of work. I think it's too soon for Celtic. And you're saying maybe go beyond. There will be interest. So I suspect you're right. And listen, it might be he's the next big thing.
You can see one of the major clubs in Scandinavia maybe looking at what you
Yeah. But you ask about Celtic, they can't go for the next big thing anymore. It's too big a job this summer for Celtic for the next big thing. They need a big thing.
Big thing?
Not the next big thing.
You're going to appoint me?
Well, there's two sitting right here. Right, I thought you'd done your glass on for these questions. Well, I'll hand the next one. Champions League midweek.
Mm-hmm.
Big flashpoint. Real Madrid Benfica. Vinny Jr. Involved in a kind of controversy, accusations of racism, team off the pitch and all that stuff. What did you make of it all? I mean, the referee stops the game, they walk off. Is that the right thing to happen in that situation? Obviously, it restarted.
Yeah.
What did you make of it in general?
I think if the referee's been made aware or if something's been brought to his attention and he thinks that's happened, then he's got every right to stop the game and investigate.
Yeah.
That is the way we want to move forward. As a society, as well as on the football pitch.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any problem with stopping the game. I wasn't there. I wasn't on the pitch. I don't know what was said. I haven't got a clue. Well,
that's the thing. In always these situations, it's hard, isn't it?
If you're the referee and a player brings that to your attention, I think he's done the right thing to go and try and find out what has actually happened here. Try and speak to people, whatever it is. Just try and take some sting out of it and get to the bottom of what's happened. I think you did the right thing by stopping. I don't have a problem with that. I don't. If that type of thing goes on, I don't have a problem with teams marching off.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
I agree with you. I actually thought that Jose Mourinho didn't handle it very well. I mean, I thought his comments after the game, I thought he let himself down. I mean, he came out and he basically kind of pointed the finger at Vinny Jr. and saying his celebrations were out of order, dancing in the corner. I mean, God forbid, he scored a ball in absolute worldie and celebrates. And then he kind of said that, this happens with him a lot of places and all that stuff. I think because the kid is outspoken about it, anytime he does suffer it, he mentions it.
He does, he doesn't.
I thought Jose let himself. I mean, I think it's a guy who is such an experienced manager. I mean, listen, I think he's a phenomenal character, handles a lot of things very well.
Yeah.
I thought he handled it. I know what he's trying to do, defending his team and all that stuff, defending his player, and he's kind of got to. I thought he handled it terribly. I thought he handled it really, really badly. And I'm not sure. I disagree with you there slightly.
he defending his team, and he kind of has to. No, he doesn't. If his player's done that.
Yeah, I mean, isn't the player said
his player might have turned around and said, "I didn't do it."
He's denied it. He's denied it. So he's got to.
Yeah.
I get he's got to.
I take the point that at that time he's got to.
He's got to tread a fine line. But mention celebrations. I mean, it shows him when you're talking about celebrations.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, hello, Mr. Pot. There's a kettle on the phone for you. Can you hold the line? I mean, my God, the guy who's charging down the Dutch line, knee slides.
Get off your knees or something on the phone.
When Anfield, he's telling the whole crowd to shush and all that stuff. I mean, this is a guy who's famous for winding up crowds.
Yes.
So I'm not having that one, Josie.
And that's the key, winding up.
No way, Josie. We'll move on. I think we'll move on. We'll move on. Listen, this is one for you anyway. Big night of darts in Glasgow this week. The usual, very popular, great night. But there's been a few questions about the Premier League and the structure. And this is one for you here. How do the darts chiefs improve the Premier League and the setup?
Contenders. Bring the contenders back.
Yeah.
Premier League's gone flat.
Gone flat?
It's gone flat.
Right. Why?
Because the two same players are playing each other too often. Now, I understand the PDG's position. What they say is it's unfair to tell a crowd in Leeds you're playing X amount for a ticket and you'll see Littler v Humphreys, but then if you go to Glasgow, then those fans paying the same money for a ticket, they deserve to see the top stars. But it's too much. It's too much. The same players are playing each other all the time. Yeah. And I think they've missed a real trick with the contenders. Think about the first 3 nights of the Premier League. First 3 nights of the Premier League this year. First night in Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
No, a local boy. Chris Dobie wasn't in it. You've got Callum Ridge, you've got Ryan Joyce, you've got Dobie could have played.
Yeah.
Last week in Antwerp, no Belgian. Mike De Decker, Dimitri's fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
Not happening anymore. And last night was a piece de resistance. Imagine one night, Gary Anderson.
Wow.
I mean, he's not going to play for the 16 weeks, but you stick Gary in it at the Hydro, and it just takes that to another level.
Yeah.
You can have Bo Greaves in and Sheffield, and you can have all different, you can have it all the way through the year. They did it before.
Yeah.
And it worked. And I understand they've tried to mess about with it with the setup, but that would be the one key I think that would be bring it right back to life, just having somebody in there every week.
The boxing shows will always stick the lower card with the local guys and all that stuff, and they sell tickets.
I shared the main Mac. You know about that, yeah.
Yeah, but and to counter that, you do want to see the best, and right now, I mean, the Littler and Humphreys are the ones they want to see, isn't it?
Well, that's the PDC.
Let's be honest.
That's the PDC's argument. What the PDC are saying, the television ratings tell us that he said nobody moans when you're watching the Dalvi Djokovic every week. Yeah. Nobody moaned about that. If that was going to happen,
exactly. If you're paying for a ticket, you want to see the best guys. I mean, that's who you're there to see.
Yeah.
So I completely.
And also they've sorted the format now where you can also get, there could be a night you could be lucky enough he hasn't made a final yet, but you might get to see Littler play 3 games in one night for the price of your ticket.
See, that's the thing. It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you want to see the best.
But I think you can still have the same format with that, but bring a contender in, bring a local guy in, bring somebody in.
Yeah.
It doesn't even need to be a local guy. I use geography there as the reason for it.
Yeah.
But see, just at a particular time, say for example, at the UK Open next month, there's a big bust up, there's a big Barney with somebody.
Yeah.
Say Darryl Gurney and Gerwin Price have another battle that they did like wee feisty. See the next week in the Premier League, bring Darryl Gurney in.
Yeah.
just have an opportunity to just drop a joker in there every week for whatever reason. I think that'd help.
But then again, listen, they might argue that if it's not broke, I mean, they're still selling it venues. I mean, it's
can't buy a ticket and the TV ratings are off the scale.
So I mean,
yeah, I know.
It's maybe the
PDC's really failing, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Eddie's struggling. Eddie,
yeah.
Aye.
We are now telling these people how to improve their product.
Tell the hell.
Move on.
Milky Muggins, here's what you do.
Yeah.
Here's what you really should do.
Move on.
Yeah, I think so. Listen, I'm moving on.
But bring back the contenders.
Yeah, I like it. I know.
Right, Scotland rugby.
Yes.
Come on, Michael. Can Scotland win the Six Nations? England sworded last weekend. Sworded.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
By Scotland.
It was great.
Not just some scrappy victory.
But we always
outplayed.
We always beat England these days.
Yeah. Draw with Italy. Hammer England. Probably get beat by Wales.
Well, that's the thing. Wales are
shambles.
Wales are Doc Cotton right now.
Excuse me?
Rotten. Surely you know your rhyming slang. Yeah, I mean, they're there for the taking. Wales.
Did you not have D Rotten in your football match report?
Die Rotten. That's what Stuttgart.
Hey, come on, can Scotland win the
Die Rotten against just pure Rotten. Die Rotten. This sounds Welsh actually.
Welsh flag.
Die. So they're for taking. So it's another win would be great after. But Scotland need to get away of this. Get out of this. The England game's all one that matters in this tournament. Keep beating English all the time.
Yep.
And then not. I still think that when they've got France at home, so if you're going to play France anyway, you want to play them at home. They look strong, but
well, there's 2 places you can play them.
Well, exactly. Well, you got a chance to pick, but I just think that they look too strong. Going to Dublin. I mean, I don't think Ireland aren't vintage at the moment either. So I think they're in the mix. I want to see Scotland being a bit more like we mentioned that word about consistency. That these occasional spikes aren't going to cut it.
Happens every 6 Nations.
It does, and it's like I mean, Gregor Townsend has that kind of knack that some football managers have when they're under pressure. They pull a result out the hat. We've seen guys through the years just doing that.
They shall remain nameless.
Well, listen, there's we've got a few, isn't there?
I think we named a few last week.
Did you? Is that right?
Yeah.
But does he seem to get just the odd result? I mean, he's under serious flack after Italy.
Just as he's at the edge of the cliff and someone's ready to push him over.
Yeah.
Bang, big result.
It is. So, but he's got to build on it. I think they need to go down and get a result against Wales. So I say are struggling. The press, there's a lot of pressure on them. I mean, I lived in there for a while, and the Welsh rugby is the national obsession, and they are hotting this. I mean, this team they're getting serious flack, so they're there for the taking. Build on that, and then see where we go. I can't see Scotland winning the Six Nations. They need to beat. I mean, the rest of them. I think France are just too strong. I'd imagine, but if they can get a victory against Wales, win in Dublin, give France a game. We can be a bit more optimistic, I think, about Scotland. Having a few weeks ago been very pessimistic, but they need to, because it just seems they can't just keep bumbling along and pulling the odd result.
Even if they beat Wales, it sets the France game up magic.
But sometimes I think some people are happy with that kind of just ambling along and getting the occasional big result against a big nation. That's not the same.
Who?
Some rugby fans. They're not
really?
Yeah.
So sweeping generalisation.
Yeah, a lot of them haven't got the same intensity that we've seen in other sports. And honestly, I heard the radio saying, the atmosphere here at Murrayfield the last 10 minutes, I singing the Flower of Scotland. It was like the singing kettle. Oh, Flower of Scotland. Give me peace. Give me peace.
Okay. Thanks, Nigel Starmer.
Right. Well, now I've upset an entire sporting community
and nation.
I think at that
time to go.
I think time to go now. I've managed to kind of upset the entire rugby fraternity.
Murrayfield accreditation withdrawn.
Those are not guys I should really be messing with. Really, I'm not quick enough to get away from these boys.
The views of Michael Gannon are not shared by everyone.
Yeah, but so finishing up on that one. Thanks for watching as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Smash the buttons and all that stuff you have to say, isn't it? Catch us on the usual socials on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and all the rest. Listen, fire in your comments. We always welcome them, even the kind of cheeky ones. We don't mind so much either. And once again, obviously, thank you to our sponsors, NordVPN. Get involved with our links for that one as well. Some good deals there, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks, Ronnie.
Cheers, Michael.